Join the Newsletter Journal and Black Hills Energy for the 2024 Christmas Light Cruise. We invite you to nominate homes and businesses in Weston County for their outstanding Christmas displays. A cruise directory will be put together showcasing the best our area offers as people and businesses get into the Christmas spirit. If you know of a display that you want to see in our guide this year, send the information to editor@newslj.com. And from Black Hills Energy and the Newsletter Journal, we want to thank you and wish you a blessed and very Merry Christmas.
Meeting of Monday, December 2nd, 2024 to order. Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to gather in friendship and harmony once again. Help us to unite to make this meeting a successful and effective one. In the name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we get the approval of the agenda? I move that we approve the agenda.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Approval of the minutes of the regular meeting and executive session on Monday, November 18th, 2024.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Stacy, there was Sharon's last name. There was a spelling error. I think her last name's like, it isn't Gross. It's I don't know what her last name is, but can I get you the spelling so that we can fix the spelling on that? Okay.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Citizens business verbal, none. Citizens business in writing, we have a Tanya Christensen doing business as Captain Model catering permit. This is a 24-hour catering permit that under and by virtue of the provisions of section 12-4-502 subsection D of the state of Wyoming alcohol beverage control laws, the city of Newcastle, county of Weston, state of Wyoming, in consideration of the sum of $20 paid by Tanya Christensen, doing business as Cap and Bottle of the city of Newcastle, county of Weston, hereby license, permits, and authorize that Tanya Christensen, doing business as Cap and Bottle, to sell alcohol and malt beverages in and upon the premises of Weston County Senior Center's Citizens Center for event more specifically described as follows: the 21st Annual Festival of Trees. This license for catering permit is for the term of 1 day only, beginning on the 6th day of December 2024 at 9 a.m. through the 7th day of December 2024 at 9 a.m.
Your Honor, I move that the council accept and approve the catering permit by Tanya Christensen, doing business as a Cap and Bottle for said event.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Moving on to old business, number 1, we have a recognition for the VFW. In recognition of their work to beautify our community with a new mural on their building. So we appreciate it. Looks really nice when I was there. I got to finish the project.
Thank you very much.
And it's the same artist that did stuff in Upton, right?
Bailey, Crackle.
Daily Crackle.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really eye-catching coming in from the west.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Thank you.
It looks really good, guys. Thank you.
You bet.
We have two more recognitions. One is for the City of Newcastle, Town of Upton, and Weston County Consolidated Dispatch Center in recognition of their hard work and being named Team of the Year by the Wyoming Capital. And then a certificate of recognition for Janelle Rothmuser in recognition of her hard work and being named Dispatcher of the Year by the Wyoming APCO. So we'll give these to you to give to her. Thank you. Moving on to ordinance number 3, series 2024, Jake breaks. So in our last meeting, we went and chose some wordage, and then you rewrote it for us, or?
Yeah, council, I believe I sent out 3 different options basically on the Jake breaks. It was from surrounding areas. I think this is the one that we had decided on. I believe this is the Casper and the Cheyenne ordinances, they have it.
So ordinance number 3, 2024, an ordinance adding section 16-11.2 of the Newcastle Town Code, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Newcastle, Weston County, Wyoming, section 6-11.2 be codified into the Newcastle, Wyoming Municipal Code, reading in its entry as follows, entirely as it follows. Section 16-11.2, use of engine compression brakes, jakes, brakes prohibited. No person shall operate or use any vehicle engine compression brake within the corporate limits of the city.
I love it. It's so short and sweet.
So what do we have to do now?
Move that we accept this.
Thank you.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Are we gonna have signage?
It'll take 4 to 6 weeks to get the signs at least, depending on how busy they are right now. But this is their slower time of year, so we should be able to see them.
Okay.
If we're gonna do this, when does it become effective?
As soon as we pass it.
We don't have 3 times or anything like that?
No.
There may have been
There's only one.
there should be on there.
But I think that
So this
maybe
will
we
be the
should.
first reading.
Yeah.
This will be the first.
Okay, so we do have 2 more readings, and
There's time for him to get the signs.
I don't know, should we? I just don't want to stop and start arresting truck drivers. We put up with this for 20, 30 years, and then all of a sudden we start putting them in. Can we give them warnings a couple times or something before we actually give them one that's going to go against their CDL?
Yes, we can absolutely start with warnings. The logical thing to do would be to advertise it both in the newspaper, social media, to let them know that this law is going into effect, to give them the opportunity to change their behavior prior to us just stopping them and writing tickets. Obviously, we'll try to go through a phase where we issue warnings to try to inform the public that hasn't seen it in the newspaper or on social media, and then
That's cool.
once a reasonable period has surpassed, then we'll start issuing citations.
Thank you, that's a good way to handle that.
If I may, Madam Mayor, the other thing we'll have to do is get Whiteout permission to put up the signs on their properties coming into town, so.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, first reading passed on today, December 2nd, 2024. number 10, series 2024, order of agenda. So last meeting, we talked about putting the recognition back on the agenda.
Well, just so we can talk about it, do we have to have a motion?
Yes, you have to make a motion.
Okay, I move that we approve this resolution number 10, series 2024.
Second.
Do we have a motion and second? Any further discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to add one more, if we can, if we're gonna add things. And right after, citizens' business, you know, a written citizens' business, and after the committee reports, I'd like to put in right in there something for, thoughts and comments of the councilman and councilwoman, because a lot of times that we're not on a committee, and we don't, it's not necessarily new or old business, but we have something to say. And I'd like to be asked if there's something that we know of in the city or something that we need to bring our attention to. And just right off the top of my head, I can think of a couple of streets that I'd like to have those big round lights or big round mirrors put into, but.
The new store. This is the one-stop shop. We have a pharmacy. We have a bootlegger's liquor. The deli, the food that you can get at a lunchtime is so amazing. The coffee shop. Certain Friday mornings, there's 30 people sitting here in all these chairs. This is the hub for people to come and visit, have their coffee, have their donuts. It's amazing what this area has done. Totally amazing.
Just right off the top of my head, I can think of a couple of streets that I'd like to have those big round lights or big round mirrors put into, but anyway, I'd like to add, right after committee reports, councilmen and councilwomen's thoughts and comments.
We used to have mayor, council member reports. That was on the agenda.
Yeah, it says it's on this one, it just never got moved over to the new. It's on here, it's number 5.
Reports of officers and board. Aye.
I did add on number A, or letter A, I put the pledge, invitation and pledge.
I don't think you're really talking about a report, though, are you, Tom? You're
No.
talking about just,
I'm just comments. that
Concern, comments.
Like if a citizen comes up and visits with us about
Right.
something that they want to bring up before the council, and we have a place to bring it up.
right,
You know,
right.
That's what we used to do under mayor, council, or member reports.
But that's not on here anymore.
Right. Well, report of officers and boards.
Okay, on officers, I'm not an officer. Does that include us, officers?
I thought it was kind of a blanket statement for the council, but
Well, we have a question on the floor. Does the officers include us?
Maybe we should reword that.
So you got, how about if we just did council/committee reports?
But I don't think it's a report.
Well, it doesn't have to
Okay,
be anything more.
Okay, I like that, Mayor. That sounds good.
That's,
So are we taking I out then and just having H be council and committee reports?
well, isn't that your department heads, your on?
Yeah, isn't that what was said? Or what, Mayor, isn't that what you meant? Is put council and then committee reports right there? Okay.
So, yes.
H.
But then all the new business isn't in the order we have it right now.
Mhm. Old and new business should be before committee reports, right? Go by this. So, yeah, this is writing.
Can I amend my motion to include the recent changes?
1 second, we gotta get the number or the letters right. It should be actually doing that. Do you want?
Did you tell me it was in, what was the fastest committee or city council meeting in? Fastest.
Since I've been on the council, they've all been pretty slow. I must have.
And you're gonna be fair, yeah. We're gonna do that.
So it would be, if you go down to G, citizens written business, then we would have, H would be old business, I would be new business, J would be council and committee reports, K would be reports of officers, like the department heads, and then claims would be your last one, your L.
So I think we should defeat the motion that's on the floor and have a new motion that includes the amendments as you've made them. Do we do that?
We can amend the motion.
We can? Okay. Do I have to do it, or can somebody just do it?
You have to amend your motion.
Okay, I'd like to amend my motion, Your Honor, to include the changes as you have relabeled them with the city clerk.
As well as adding
And adding the,
the pledge and council.
yeah, add the pledge and then council members and committee reports.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
All right.
Moving on to new business, Weston County Travel Commission Joint Powers Board. So we have a joint powers agreement that has been issued down from the state level in regards to our travel commission. Has everyone, I don't know if you all had a chance to read it when the clerk emailed it to us, or do you need time to read it? It is in regards to the Wyoming Travel Commission, which isn't clearly stated until you get to number 4.
Yeah, that'd be the first change we ought to make right there.
Is it,
So,
would it be in a joint powers board? Does that mean that the travel commission itself has someone overseeing them, or?
Well, just from the actual setup of the Joint Powers Board itself, I believe there's 2 members that are appointed from this body, 2 members from Upton and then 2 from Weston County
and then
Commissioners.
the 7th one is on
Yeah,
elected
large
at large.
member. If you want to know the truth, though, I believe that this agreement was sent from the Attorney General themselves. Seeing that it comes from that new election lodge tax implementation for the Joint Powers Board of the Travel Commission.
All right. Well, are we in discussion of this thing yet?
You can discuss it without having a.
Okay, after being in the hotel and motel business most all of my life, this is ridiculous. I mean, we have 7 motels in this city. Upton has one with 45 rooms. The county has now camp. I mean, and the disbursements, it has absolutely nothing to do with, and it doesn't even mention the fact that who has any rooms and where's the tax being collected. The tax is being collected here in Newcastle. And except for the part that Upton does have that one hotel up there in operation. And they do have now a camp in operation, but, I don't know, can this board raise a bunch of money and all of a sudden the county gets with Upton and they build a bunch of new bridges in Upton? Because, you know.
Well, no, the money has to be designated to tourism.
Well, they might say that, well, this road is for tourism and we're gonna build a bridge here. Or I'm just saying that I see a whole bunch of problems here and we are the main income producer of this board. And I wouldn't have it. I read it twice today or before and it's just not.
It's supposed to be, it's based on.
I don't think, Councilman, if I may, that the actual allocation of taxes that come from the lodging tax can be used in, say, something that's outside of a specific use meant for tourism. Now, one of the things that I would like to point out is that in the actual finances for this, under this agreement, that 2% lodge tax, which was passed by the electorate here in Weston County, would be the main funding source for this Joint Powers Board. Now, as to how much money they require, or how well it actually funds the Joint Powers Board, that remains to be seen, but it is based on that 2% lodging tax. Now, as to how much money they require, or how well it actually funds the Joint Powers Board, that remains to be seen, but it is based on that 2% lodging tax.
And as I'm saying, that 2% is going to be collected here.
Have you been to one of the travel commission meetings?
I have not.
Okay, I was at one recently, and they're very detailed when it comes to how they spend that money.
Mhm.
Like, you have to fill out forms and applications if
Oh,
you are wanting
yeah.
to utilize, or see if they would utilize any funds for whatever it is that you're looking at. But it is for tourism. So like, say there's a huge event here, or the the guys that go out, things to that factor. And they help with advertisement for papers, they do some advertisement in the paper. So they do a lot more for the,
They help fund
Yeah.
different events too.
so it's not, I think they have an obligation of how those funds can be spent. But I would encourage maybe going to one of the meetings or call someone from that board and talk to one of those board members. Because I learned a lot by going to one of their meetings and seeing how it works.
Well, I've gotten some of their funds for their Weston County Arts Council, and because of our advertising and things, if we put their little logo in our advertising, then we can qualify for some of their dollars. I know that's how they operate in some ways. I'm just saying that you set up a joint powers board, and it's all equal, but it isn't. I think we should have, at least
I know.
4 of the members on the board, and somebody else can have one, and somebody else can have one, because that's how they're represented. That's who's collecting the tax.
That's interesting. Kind of like the joint powers board for the Newcastle, Weston County, the Osage, whatever the name is for dispatch.
And
I'm just saying, you're looking at something more. What is that?
well, I should think so.
I think I have a.
I attended one of their meetings by mistake.
Did you?
Yeah, as a board committee member,
Me too.
because it's the Weston County Travel Commission.
Oh.
So I went because I thought we had some oversight in their, on their board.
Did we give them any money?
No, but the mayor is right. I mean, they're very stringent about how you can apply for funding or go about getting funded through their board. And then they meet once a month, and then they kind of alternate between towns. So sometimes they meet here in Newcastle, and then other times they meet in Upton. But I wasn't aware that we were forming a joint powers board.
Well, I think this is something that we need to table and maybe get some more information on, and maybe even invite the travel commission to the next meeting.
Can I just clarify, this isn't a new board that they're forming?
Oh, no, it's
This
just,
board's been in existence for a long time.
Oh, has it? So we've had seats on that board the whole
Yeah.
time?
We've had members come in, we get resignation letters, and then we have letters of people wanting to fill those seats.
Perkins has been on that.
yeah, Bruce is on the board. But
Bruce is,
But it hasn't been called a joint powers board.
No,
And it
this
hasn't
is
been
the first.
organized as a joint powers.
and it came down, and this, like,
It has always been a joint powers board?
No, it has
For a
not.
very long time.
Clerk Haggerty's saying that it has.
And I was on that board years and years and years ago. It was considered a joint powers board at that point in time.
So why do we have this new thing that we're looking at?
I think like Attorney Hughes said, it's because of maybe some new rules and regulations from the state Attorney General's office.
Because I mean, it's saying that we're gonna have to supply council members to be on the board, right? Number 5.
And I've never ever heard it called a joint powers.
Yeah, I never heard
I
of
think they just
Weston
appointed,
County
yeah,
Health
two that are appointed by the
Because
state.
Norma was big.
So I say we table this, ask for the travel commission and get a better insight. Because I know you received this from Kelly, and Kelly's on that board. She's on the travel commission board. So maybe we could have
Who is?
Kelly, the
Kelly Moore.
clerk in Upton.
Okay.
And so is,
So that's the question.
Brittany, Treadle is on the board, Bruce Perkins, Julie.
Wetzel.
I say we do not, if everybody's okay, and have more insight and be able to look at making changes if we need to this.
I move we table the joint powers agreement
Second.
until the next regularly scheduled meeting.
We have a motion and second, any further discussion?
I just think it's confusing that when we're calling it the Joint Powers Board, I think that's where we're all
Yeah.
questioned whether, we just all need to
Well,
try.
Dublin, could we just ask Dublin to kind of look in this and see what the hell's going on? And why we have to do this and?
It's because of the vote, the county vote for this exact tax.
Yeah.
And then by definition, under the laws of the state of Wyoming, it has to be oversaw by an entity, one being a joint powers board. The
And
Weston
the board we
County.
have wasn't good enough?
Say what?
The board we have wasn't good enough?
No, this is an allocation, I think, for an extra 2%, other than what the city and the county were paying. So, it's something that the state requires.
The county, or the state?
State.
Okay.
All right, Stacy's going to email the travel commission and ask them to attend our next meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Any committee reports? Department head reports, Public Works Supervisor Greg Stump.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just to inform the council, we'll be moving the skate park equipment and cleaning the concrete pad for the ice rink this week. Friday, we did receive the level 2 assessment on the vacuum positive samples. We are putting together a plan to meet compliance. Another item, the Weston County Solid Waste District has showed an interest in buying the Unit 68. It's a 2003 Chevrolet 2500 with a snowplow. It's the landfill pickup that we used out there. It has 185,000 miles on it already. Looking at the Kelly Blue Book and the price for used plows, I would recommend we surplus it and sell it to the Weston County Solid Waste District for $3,000.
Greg, is there, do you recall off the top of your head, I know that there's a statute basically stating that in any vehicle over the amount of $500, it has to be advertised for sale.
I thought that was for public sale, where this one is from one government entity to another government
That's what
entity.
I was worried about. I think that actually ends up being, there is a kicker on that.
Yeah, because I was thinking that where we've gotten equipment from the city back to the fire department was almost in that same realm. They surplused it and then we were able to get that equipment from the city.
Yeah, both, in this case, both entities are a division of the state of Wyoming, so.
Do we need a motion for him to sell that?
He's seeing the resender.
In the ordinance.
Well, while he's looking that up, I forgot under committee reports, if the water and sewer committee could meet Friday at 9
Okay.
to go over that pilot plan.
This coming Friday, 9 a.m.
Yes.
I'm good with 9 a.m. on Friday the 6th.
Me too.
I don't think I have anything planned.
In In addition to the weekly printed version of the newsletter journal, we also promote our community and share important information on our award-winning website, newslj.com, and in our weekly email newsletter, Nuke Now. We also connect with readers through various social media platforms and invite you to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can even take a look at a recent meeting of the City Council, School Board, or County Commission on our YouTube channel. We do hope that you will go to newslj.com and subscribe today, and we look forward to making all of our great content available to you. But regardless of your level of support, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for doing your part to preserve a free and independent local press.
I don't think I have anything planned.
Just meet at City Hall
Where do you want to meet?
downstairs.
Downstairs.
Yeah, Greg, it does allow for the sale to the state of Wyoming or an agency or instrumentality of the state or any political subdivision of the state. You still have to do actual publishing of said sale at least once each week for 3 consecutive weeks in a newspaper of general circulation in the county in which the city or the town is located.
And that's not a problem.
Okay. Sí.
Well, I move we allowed Mr. Stump to present his truck for sale, and then anything he can get out of it, just invite us to the party.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Thank you. We'll get the advertisement in there sooner than later. The only other thing I had, we did not meet all the requirements for the SRF applications for landfill 1 and 2025 improvements to make the December 5th meeting this week for the funding request. Funding has been pushed back, meeting has been pushed back to February. So,
I got a question.
yes, sir.
In the claims against the city, there's one that started out at 11,000, and then it ends up at 9,571, and it's called something about asphalt and Elastaflex.
That is the Durapatch oil that we use for the Durapatch, and we're going to start working with it this week. We also ordered a pallet of the crack seal material we use with the crack seal machine.
Okay. I thought asphalt in December?
Actually, it's not a bad idea to crack seal in December because your cracks are wider because it's cooler. So you actually want to seal your cracks when it's cooler out rather than when it's hotter.
Okay.
But we won't be using it right now. We're getting it in preparation for spring. They had a truck coming down with the loaded Durapatch oil, so we just had to add that into it as well.
Anything else for the city? No?
Pardon?
Any other questions for? Thank you. Police Chief Derek Thompson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First of all, calls for service since November 19th. Newcastle Police Department, 117, Weston County Sheriff's Office, 92, Upton Police Department, 4, Newcastle Volunteer Fire Department, 8, Weston County Fire District, 9, Upton Volunteer Fire Department, 1, Newcastle Ambulance, 16, and Upton Ambulance, 30. The second item I have on my list, I have a couple of officers that have parted ways from Upton PD. One of them is currently not employed anywhere. The other one is actually a dispatcher with the Joint Powers Board, but they're still certified. And I actually added one of them to our post roster, which is just the the entity with the state of Wyoming that maintains peace officer certifications. But I did that and thought I better ask for the council's approval to put them on as reserve officers. That means we're not paying them anything. We would have to provide them some training, and they could be used in the capacity of, we need extra hands on deck for, say, the event that's coming up next summer. We can use them in situations where we really need extra help. We're not going to put any money into FTOing them or anything like that, because they are already trained, certified peace officers, so they should know what they need to do at a basic level anyways, at least to provide support for us if needed. And those two officers are Kevin Allen and Susan Bridge, so I would just like permission to add them on as reserve officers.
But do we need a motion to that effect? I move that we allow the chief to add these reserve officers, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
I think it's good for us and for them to keep that certification.
I second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Thank you. My third item is the letter we received from the city of Upton in reference to the Communications Joint Powers Board. I wanted to address some things in here. In the first part of the letter, it says the Communications Joint Powers Board rejected their designee for a board position. And it says right in there, this information comes secondhand. To be honest, that's a little upsetting to me. That never happened. I don't know where they're getting that information, but they never even reached out to us and told us who they were going to designate. They haven't really communicated with us other than to say that they believe we should pay for their radio tower as a board. And they pretty much demand that in this letter. And there's several things as a board. We have to draw the line in the sand somewhere. I mean, what's next? As a board, we're gonna provide mobile radios in the vehicles and portable radios for the officers. That's not part of the deal. And here's the reason why. Well, Newcastle always takes the bulk of law enforcement. The city of Newcastle always takes the bulk of law enforcement calls, and we pay the bulk of the dispatch fees because our population is the greatest. The sheriff has more radio towers. The sheriff has more phones. So we decided to exclude those things from the agreement because the equipment is not proportional to what is being paid in by those entities. So we pay our own tower rent at $120 or $150 a month or whatever it is. Upton needs to pay theirs at $200 and whatever it is, and the county needs to pay theirs at $500 and whatever it is, because they shouldn't be allowed to pay 11 or 13% or whatever it is they pay, but yet get more services than what we're getting for paying 49%. And so as a board, we decided that's not really fair to do it that way. So we're hoping that they get this representative on the board and we can explain some of those things to them, and maybe it'll smooth out. But the only thing in here they do have a point about is the report that we were supposed to provide in July to them. And it's just one of those things that it's so new and we have so many things to still get ironed out that it was overlooked. It's supposed to be being done as we speak. So we can get that report to not only Upton, but to the city of Newcastle and Weston County also. That's something that's in the agreement that is supposed to detail our financials and the condition of the board and things of that nature, and give some sort of a projection for future financial needs. So that report does need to be completed and distributed accordingly, and it has not been. But we are aware of that, and we're going to try to get that issue addressed as soon as possible. So from there, I guess I would ask you guys if you have any other questions about the board, the Joint Powers Board, or about this letter specifically.
So I mean, this is just something that the board and Upton need to figure out at one of the regularly scheduled meetings.
Yeah, they had spoken to Dick Clinker and Kelly Stith, who I believe they have contracts with them for hanging their repeaters on their towers. So that's something, they're in contract with them or have an agreement with them or whatever. And they're just handing us the bill and saying, here, you pay it. And we're just not gonna do it, so. Hopefully, once they get their representative to show up to meetings, then we can explain to them why this isn't a fair shake and why the Joint Powers Board is not covering everything. Hopefully, they'll come off of that, but I'm trying not to start another fight because I know where this came from, but I guess at the same time, it's a matter of principle, and I'm going to do what I think is right. And if you guys have any guidance on that or any comments on that, I would like to hear them. Guidance on that or any comments on that, I would like to hear them.
So one of the main concerns was that they didn't have their appointee attending meetings. Is that what I'm to gather? So is
They
there
didn't, yeah, they didn't send anybody to the meetings. They're published in the Upton paper. They didn't call any of us, contact any of us and say, this is our designee. There's just been no communication other than when Chief Bridge was still on board, they sent her with the bill for the towers and said they need to pay this. I don't see anywhere in our agreement where we were paying for tower rent, but as a board, we've decided that each separate entity is responsible for it. Because like I said, the cost of the towers is not proportionate to what each entity is paying into the board. So it just made more sense to keep that separate.
So when is the next meeting?
It is,
December 10th.
I think it's December 18th.
And has Upton been contacted? Are they gonna send one of their appointees to come to the meeting?
They say in this letter that they were appointed, Lester Reeman, I think. Ryman, how do you say that?
What time does the board meet?
4:30. It's on the 18th at 4:30 at the county annex building. So hopefully their representative will be present at that time. And
Hopefully we get this
start
hashed
hashing
out.
things out, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, good luck to you, Chief.
thank you. And that's all I had.
How's the training with the dog going?
Good, as far as I know. He said the dog is doing really well. He's a very good detection dog. He's a very good trailing dog. He said we need to work with him a little bit, being around people, because he's a little grumpy when he first meets people. When I met the dog, I didn't see that, but he said he's showing a little bit of grumpiness towards people. And I said we need to address that because we don't need him biting it.
Has he been out on a job?
Not yet.
They're still training in July.
Didn't hear.
They're still training in July.
Oh,
Any other questions for Chief? City Attorney Dublin. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Other than the ordinances and the resolution, the only thing I needed to apprise the council of is the next meeting, which is December 16th, right? I will not be there as I will be attending a school board meeting. Yeah, that'd be great.
that kid did. No, that kid did.
No, not yet, but I may as well, so.
You get the headaches.
Oh, that stuff's way worse than any municipal stuff. I'll leave it.
Anything for city attorney? Okay, City clerk, treasurer, Stacy?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The only thing I have is we are pretty much wrapped up on audit, and they are hoping to present either in January or February.
I had a question for you. Okay, on the claims against the city, number 24831, it says that it's for $70,454 total, but there was a bill for IT for the shop for $3,900 and one for the regular city hall for $3,300. And just since in the last 2 weeks. What the hell happened?
Well, it's for some of the hardware. They kind of are billing in stages. So it's, some of it's for hardware, some of it's for the behind-the-scenes support.
Behind the scenes report or support is what I'm kind of concerned about.
Doing the inner workings of security and things like that.
Okay.
I'm not happy about it either, Tom,
Well,
but we need it.
I just,
I understand.
Okay, any other questions?
I have one for you, Madam Mayor. It didn't really fit under any of the agenda items, but there's been like a rumor that you're going to do some kind of an economic development type board or committee or something like that. We just hadn't heard anything about it, so didn't know if you wanted to elaborate.
So there's a small group of us as an economic development board. We're just kind of getting our feet planted. Because in the past, economic development boards kind of had too many chiefs and not enough Indians and never kind of went anywhere. So it's a small little group of us that are kind of looking at what we could utilize what's already here in town versus what we can bring into town. So kind of rebuild what we have before bringing in new. We're working with several ranchers, and we're looking at starting a dinosaur museum. And it's realistically can happen really quick. But the hopes of this dinosaur museum would be with working with the Anna Miller Museum and eventually getting what's needed money-wise, grant-wise, to put an addition on the Anna Miller and move the museum to Anna Miller. So that's where we're at right now. We'll probably have our 4th meeting this coming month. We just don't have the date yet.
can anybody come to your meetings?
Yeah, I mean, we really
Well,
have.
I'd certainly like to know when you meet, and where, and
We've had the Travel Commission, the Anna Miller Museum, Historical Society, Chamber, they've all attended.
So you're actually working with the Chamber of Commerce?
Jennifer has been to a meeting, and then she's also been to the Travel Commission meeting with me when we proposed it to the Travel Commission.
Cool, well, that sounds exciting.
So we just didn't want it like out yet because we didn't need like 900 people saying when's the museum gonna open, and but we do have there's 4 ranches in town or in county or outside of our county. 3 of them are on board, and then we're working with the university out of Texas and another university because the only thing I know about dinosaurs is they were here before me. So, and about museums, I don't know anything about temperature control or how to put out layout.
they're not alive.
I know, but I don't know anything about like how you have to keep stuff in a museum. So the universities, it might be something that they would add to the program on on the groups that come out during the summer, and helping us put the museum together. And then there's hope of a production company, that may hopefully document her, from the start of it to eventually the finish of it with the addition of the ambulance.
So I just heard unsubstantiated rumors going around town, and I just wanted to get it from the horse's mouth, per se. And then, I mean, as you move forward, it sounds like you're planning on still being active in the community. I mean, are you planning on working with the city of Newcastle in the future?
That's a good thing.
I have what they call multiple passion disorder. So, but yeah, it should be fun, and it should be exciting, and it should be happening quickly. Okay. Any other questions? Claims against the city dated December 2nd, 2024.
Your Honor, I move that this August body pay the claims against the city.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I want to stay.
I move we adjourn. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, adjourned at 7:52.
But I think it was malice on Becky's part leading up to the mistake, malice on Becky's part during the mistake, and certainly malice on Becky's part after the mistake that has the public so upset about this.
Oh, 100%. I can't fathom why you would ignore the Secretary of State's phone call on election night unless you knew something was up and you didn't want to admit something was up and therefore you were trying to cover up what was up. Why else would you ignore his call? If you honestly thought there was no issue with your election and everything was fine, why would you ignore the Secretary of State?
Except for maliciousness.
Yes, the following day after she talked to the Secretary of State twice, she somehow produced a perfect post-election audit despite later finding out that the election was off significantly.